this. I think we're live this afternoon, and we are way, way late. And it's not my fault. I know it's not your fault, but there were so many things to get done. Oh, you've always got an excuse. I'm ready to see the girls and the boys. I'm ready to tell a story. You're ready to tell a story. And I don't need a lie. Oh, no, it's not a lie. We're going to tell a true story today. And the title of this one is we're going to talk about a wise donkey and a stubborn prophet of God. Oh, that don't make any sense. I know, but you know what? This donkey even talked. Oh, I don't believe it. You're just seeing if I'm going to believe it. No, that's not it, Chesley. Well, let's get into this story. I want to make sure I'm the Lincoln and the Lincoln. Oh, you're winking and blinking. You're doing fine. And all the girls can see you. Oh, yes, all the girls can see you, and they know that you love them and you care about them. Oh, yes, and I'm going to sing today. I think, you know what, Chesley, our story may be a little long, so I don't think we'll do that today. Okay, you going to be long-winded? You going to make me long-winded? No, we're not going to be long-winded, but there's a lot to cover. And, you know, stubbornness is a terrible thing. You know what? I think it's wicked. I think God hates it. God does hate it. In this story today, though, there was a king of Moab, and his name was Balak. Oh, that's a crazy name. Well, it wasn't. It was a common name, possibly in the land of Moab. And here you go, messing with my hair. Chesley, I noticed it was, you know, it didn't look quite right. And it's my wig. You need to glue it. I know I need to glue it, but right now, back to the story. As Balak looked out, he saw this army of people. I mean, it was a huge army. It was the Israelites. And it's God's people, God's chosen people. And he saw it was so huge, he said, I can't win against them. And so he can join them. Well, he didn't want to join them. What he wanted to do was defeat them. And he thought, I don't have a chance. And what do you think? He had a weak army? He knew that miracles were happening with these people. And you know why? That's because God was with them. God was with them. He was leading them. But this man was willing to try to fight against God. You know, I think he's crazy. He just needed to turn around and leave. Well, he didn't turn around and leave. He thought, I've got to find a prophet that will curse him. Well, what good is cussing doing? It wasn't a matter of using foul language. It was he needed to find a prophet that would call out in some way to his God, and that that there could be some serious consequences. That's what a curse was. Yes, like they could beat them. They just had to have that. This God would curse that army, and they would be weak, and just things like that. Or maybe they not get a disease. Yeah, that's right. They might get a disease. Well, at any rate, he decided, or he found out. He said, I'm going to send some of my top guys, my leaders, and he's going to see if they can get someone. Yes, he said there is a prophet there of their God, and he said his name is Balaam. They look what crazy names. Well, we don't talk about names. And so he went to get him, and you know, as Balaam said, well, he'd have to check it out. And God told him, don't you go. You know, when God says that you dare not do it. But he saw all these people that came, and they were really important, and they had gifts. Oh, and he wanted gifts. Oh, and there was something about that, though he didn't say it. We found out later that in his heart he was thinking, I would like to have those gifts. Well, he had these great gifts, and he said, King Balak, our king, he has great things he wants to do for you. He needs you to curse those people. But some things you don't have to pray about, Chesley. I think you're supposed to pray on everything. When God says no, the answer is no. And is he to say no? Well, sometimes he knows it's not best for us. And not sometimes, but in every situation, he knows what is or is not best. And here was God's prophet, and God wanted to use him, but prophets of God, or all children of God, need to be obedient. That's right, you cannot be stubborn. Stubbornness is a horrible thing. But anyway, as he knew, he said, I can't go. The Lord had said, God tells me, no, you can't go. But you know, he wanted to go, and God knew that prophet's heart. God knows what we're thinking. He knows what we're thinking, and he knew that he was determined to go. And so he talked to him about this. You just go ahead and go. but he was really just testing him what he would do. And so what did he do? Did he pray? Well, he did. He said, I'm just going to pray. I'm going to pray. And that's what he thought. And he told him, said, I have to pray about this. And then what did he do? Well, when he left, the Lord was very displeased. He said, you know what I said. I was telling you, don't go, and you were testing me. He just headed out anyway, and there he was on his donkey, and he was going along, and he thought, oh goody, I'm gonna come out okay on this. Well, you can't fool God. He knew what he was thinking. He knew what he was going to do. But as he was walking along, all of a sudden, his donkey stopped, and because the donkey saw something. What did the donkey see? And then why didn't Balaam see it? Well, Balaam didn't see it because he was so stubborn. But the donkey was wise when he saw an angel there of the Lord, and he saw him with the sword drawn. He thought he's going to kill me. He's going to make me supper for tonight. I don't know whether it was going to be supper or not. But he stopped, and when he did, it made Balaam so angry. And I know what he did. He slapped him. He did. He slapped him with a stick or a whip, whatever he had. Well, that donkey was wiser than him. He was wiser. I think donkeys are just stubborn. Well, really, what I read was they aren't stubborn so much as they're cautious. When they see danger, they stop. And I think this is really kind of crazy. This prophet of God, he was the stubborn one. He was being stubborn. It was reversed. The donkey was wise because he stopped, because he saw the angel. But Balaam didn't see the angel. He was intent on getting there to get the reward that was going to be his. He's just crazy. Well, hear this donkey. Why did you stop? Keep going. Well, the donkey tried to go, and then he saw the danger there, and here was the angel standing between him and the wall. Well, he just went over into the wall. And then what happened to the preacher then, the stubborn one? What happened to him? Well, he said, oh, my foot, you've crushed my foot. And he hit the donkey again. It was awful. And the donkey didn't know what was going on. He was being wise. He was being wise. And he saw that angel. Well, you know what happened then? Then the angel went a little bit further. And here was Balaam. He wanted that donkey to go. Because he wanted to, I've prayed about this. And sometimes we're not serious. It's not, we may say we've prayed, but we know in our heart and our mind we're going to do what we want to do. Well, and he's going to get in some trouble. Well, hear what happened, though. And all of a sudden, then he saw again, and here was this angel that stood before him. And this donkey was just not going any further. And so here went, Balaam didn't see, but he just slapped him again. And then what happened? He didn't know what to do. Well, the donkey actually spoke to him. You're kidding me. Donkeys don't talk. And he's crazy. This is a joke. No, it wasn't a joke. Did you know that preacher man was so stubborn? God wanted to get his attention because he had his mind on money. He had his mind on money. Nothing is really wrong with money, but it's false in the way he was doing it. He was disobedient before the Lord, and he kept saying, well, I've prayed. I've been offering sacrifices. I'm really praying and seeking the Lord. Oh, in his heart, he had nothing in mind. His praying was just words. All he wanted to get there and get those rewards that he was being promised. And that donkey spoke to him and said, why are you doing this to me? I've never disobeyed you. Well, because you're just stubborn and you're not. No, it wasn't the donkey being stubborn. He was being wise. He was being very wise. The donkey could see what the prophet couldn't see. Here he was supposed to be a man of God, but he had left that and was going his own way. And when all of a sudden the Lord opened the prophet's eyes, and then he saw what the donkey saw. He saw what the donkey had seen every time. Oh my, this was a serious situation. Well, we could go on. It's quite a lengthy story. In Numbers chapter 22 goes into 23. But all said and done, he was just so stubborn and so rebellious. He wanted to have it his way. But the Lord was displeased with him, even though this man of God, he would speak the truth, and he did say what God told him to say, but God knew all along in his heart he didn't really believe it. He knew God was right, but he wanted those gifts. But finally the prophet, he'd say, well, I can't curse these people. I can't do it. I can't curse these people because God is for them. And he began to say all the things that God was telling him to say. And it made Balak, the king of Moab, so mad. You know what he said to him? You make me mad. I want you to curse them. And he said, I can't curse them. I can't do it because, God is for them. But in his heart, he still wanted those gifts. He wanted the money. What did the king say? Well, the king was saying to him, said, you're telling me that your God doesn't want to bless you. I'm wanting to give you, honor. I'm wanting to promote you. And your God doesn't want to give you honor. He doesn't want to promote you. He doesn't have your good in mind like I do. And what did he think? Well, he was saying, well, I can't do it. Well, we don't see it here for sure, but later on we do see what happened, as that Balaam wanted the gift so bad, and he was so stubborn. Lord, seen that donkey? I think he was, yes, I think he was. The donkey was being honorable, but here he was not even supposed to be talking. When he was he was doing what God said, and he was being more obedient than that preacher. Then that's a shame when this man of God wasn't being honest. But he found out as later what happened. We find out in the scriptures later on that he said, well, I can't curse these people, but I can tell the king what he can do to get God to curse them. You know what he said? It sounds like it's just crooked. It was crooked. He told him, if you can get them to be disobedient to God, and he gave him a plan. No, I don't think God was pleased with it. He was not one bit pleased with that. You may say, well, I told them the right thing. I didn't actually curse them. Well, anyway, Chesley, this bottom line is what we're supposed to do is honor God because he knows this. He knows best, and it's never that he's against us, and we don't have to have the honor from people that are dishonorable. God will take care of us. He always will. So let's just do the right thing and please the Lord and not be stubborn or nor than a donkey. We don't want to be more stubborn than a donkey. And in this case, can you imagine, back to this, when I was praying about our lesson for today, and the Lord just made it so clear to me, look at the difference here. Can you imagine? The prophet of God was the one being stubborn and disobedient. And it was the donkey that God had to use. Sometimes people say, I can't do anything for the Lord. I have no talents. You know what I think? If he can use a donkey, he can use us. He can use all of us. Even a piece of wood. Even a piece of wood like you can be used. You have a purpose. As long as you're healthy, yes, that's right. As long as you're pulling the strings. Yeah, as long as I'm pulling the strings and we're working together. We need to work together with God, Chesley. And, well, but right now, it's getting kind of late. Well, you're the one got started late. Don't blame me. Chesley, I'm not blaming you. It's just it's getting late. And George is out there waiting on us to tell him time's up, that he can come on in. Oh, is he locked out? Yes, we locked him out so that he doesn't come bursting in the door while we're telling the story. Okay, can I sing? No, you're not going to sing right now. You're going to say goodbye to everybody, and you'll see them next Sunday afternoon. I love you, and I just hate to go to bed. That it's my lot in life. Yes, it's your lot in life. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week. You have a great rest of the day. Let's cut this off, and we're ready to go put you to bed. I don't want to go to bed because it's scary. No, it's not scary.